I was staying in a garage, not really my car. I was staying in somebody's garage. The person was really trying to help out. And, I had to stay in a garage for more than a year and some months. Remember, my company had already generated more than $2 million before I had those issues. Remember, I went from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. I'm quoting, what's his name? Steve Brown. I forgot this. I think that's his name. Now, I went from losing 2 million naira, I didn't give up, to losing 24 million.
All right, welcome again, guys, to another session of the Brand Talk. And today we're taking a different route. And we have in our midst an entrepreneur, a boss, a CEO, one of, like, as far as I'm concerned, he's a success. He's one of the successful young CEOs we have in Nigeria, making waves in the digital industry or in the tech industry. He's been a friend of mine for 4 years and also my boss. So we have Mr. Franklin Odemena, and he is the CEO of Bitfxt. So, Mr. Franklin, boss, welcome to Brand Talk. It's a privilege. It's a pleasure we having you.
Thank you so much.
Man, Dubai is looking good on you. Dubai is looking good on you.
My brother.
Can we swap? It's kind of hard.
Abuja is also looking very good on you, bro. Looking really, really good on you. It doesn't really matter where one is. I think what matters is peace of mind.
Definitely.
There are people in Dubai here also that are not really looking good. Why? Because it's probably they are not having a good time.
Yeah.
Peace of mind, So it's really dependent on where you find yourself and where you really have peace of mind. That's basically it.
Okay, well, 3 years. I know I have peace of mind, but that's nice.
Come on. I'm glad to have you here. I'm always happy to have you around.
I'm really thinking about it for vacation this year, so that at least after all the stress now, someone needs to
host you. I'll host you. I'll be glad to host you.
Definitely, I trust you. All right, now back to the business of the day. So today is an interesting topic. Like, we're talking about it's okay to fail. Like, it's actually okay to fail. Now, someone I respect a lot in the creative industry, he once said something, like, he made an illustration about this failure of a thing, and it has stuck with me since then. Especially in the Nigerian context, I can't really say for the rest of the world case, but I'll just say in the Nigerian context. But I know this is how it is probably all over, but let's start from the Nigerian angle. Like, we've gone to school, being in school now, they've made failure this, it's an abomination. You should never ever, like, it's just from the way our teachers give us that big stroke, or like just to show that you failed this and all. And I think psychologically it has done harm, or it has done a lot to most of us, that anytime you fail at something, you just feel as if you've committed an abomination, that your life is over, things like that. Like you've committed one of the greatest sin in the world, or one of the unforgivable sin. I'll put it that way. But the truth is that as entrepreneurs, and especially as entrepreneurs in Africa, and more especially as entrepreneurs in Nigeria, we need to see failure or failing as part of the process. I know my story, and I have failed at a lot of things, and I still continue to fail at a lot of things. But the truth is that being an entrepreneur, you must accept the fact that there will be more losses than more wins. But at the end of the day, what matters is that the wins are much more significant, that they make the losses not to count. Now, the reason why we have you here is quite interesting. Like, December 2020, you posted a story. I call it a testimony. I've not heard of that. I haven't heard, like we've discussed, but I haven't heard that story till I saw it on your WhatsApp status, and that is why you're here. But before we jump right, so that I want our audience to understand why you're here. Like Brand Talk is a community is a social learning group of entrepreneurs, and you are an entrepreneur as well. But please just tell us about yourself and tell us about Bitfxt, what you do, and all.
All right. So thank you so much for having me once again in Brand Talk. One thing I know you for is you like to carry people along. You like to impact, and successful people have that in common, right? For someone to be successful, you have to be willing to make other people successful, and that's one thing that you represent. I'm really proud of you for that. My name is Franklin Peters. Yes, my name is Franklin Peter Odeminam, but brand wise, I'm known as Franklin Peters. In the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry, I'm known as Blockchain Oracle, because somehow I happen to have some different insights regarding to the whole cryptocurrency and blockchain stuff. And sometimes I'm able to introspect into the future, and it eventually happens, right? It's not magic. It's just, looking at the past, comparing it to the present, and then we have the future as the resultant effect. And I'm actually from Abia State. I'm Igbo. Okay. I happen to fall in love with tech in very early stages of my life. Everything computer fascinates me. And I run a company called Bitfxt and Boundlesspay, of which I was privileged to have Ike, yourself, as my creative director for a long time, and he's always been there as a consultant for us. And I love to impact on people as well. That's basically who I am.
Okay, like you missed the important part.
Okay.
Are you single?
I'm single, but I'm not searching. Yeah. I'm still trying to, listen to the voice of God.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's not allow you break more hearts, because I'm pretty sure that people are breaking their hearts right now. So all right. So now let's get to the business. Failure or failing. Maybe let's not use the word failure. Let's call it failing, because if you use the word failure, they probably think I'm a failure. Like, let's use the word failing. Like one of the processes of life as an entrepreneur, or even life in general, is that you fail at some certain things. But what makes you a failure is when you don't pick yourself up and continue the journey. When you just decide to like quit at that, okay, I failed at this, so that is where I am. Now, so going straight to the story, because I don't want this to be long, because I know you're a very busy person. But so going straight to the story. Now, I know I met you back in 2017. We've been working together since 2017 and all. But like I said, when I went through the WhatsApp status story last year, 2020, I was like, wow. Like at a point, you didn't have a place to stay. I think you said something about living in your car. So I'm trying to get that person. I'm imagining that person and imagine the person I'm seeing today. Like it doesn't like. So can you tell us that? Can you just briefly talk to us about those moments, those moments that seems as if you failed, and how come you're where you are today?
Yeah. So it's I told myself that I must be a success, right? I looked at where I was coming from, or where I'm coming from, my family, my background, and looked at the people around me. I don't want to use the word so-called graduates, but that's what it is, the ones that graduated from school and they were still back in their mother's home, fighting over a pot of food, fighting with the neighbors and queuing up in line. And then this person is supposed to be a graduate of what do you call it? Accounting. This is a supposed graduate of engineering, but then there's nothing. And then it's not their fault. Maybe the government is not providing enough job. I ask myself, like, is this where I want to end up, right? So I made up my mind I'm going to figure life out for myself, right? And in figuring life out for yourself, there's a lot of things involved. It requires a lot of decision. You have to make up your mind that this is what you want and you go for it, right? So I was willing to take the heat, whatever it is, even if it would cost me my family. I mean, not going home, because when I got to school, I decided that I'm not just going to sit down and listen to whatever the lecturer would say. I was going to also act upon whatever I learn for myself and make sure I make a living from it. So I started off with my first company, not a registered company though, but it was a bulk SMS platform. The story is very funny. I was in class one day and my class rep stood up and was asking people to contribute funds for messaging, right? So that he could send reminders to our class if a lecturer is going to come or not, all those kind of things. And everybody contributed and sent the money to him. And I'm like, okay, so what if I'm the one these people are sending this money to? Is it going to be a bad thing? So I approached him. I asked him, okay, how do you get to do these things? He told me that he was sending the money to someone in Lagos for bulk SMS. I didn't know what bulk SMS was all about, right? I had to go home and research about it. I didn't have enough funds to start my own. So I had to sell my laptop. I sold my sister's phone. I sold my phone. I didn't care. I sent the money to this company that promised me they could help me build one. They built it for me. And, I made sure that the price of my own SMS system was a bit lower than the one that my class rep was using. So I approached my class rep and I told him that, have you heard about IceQ Tech? It was IceQ Tech then. Have you heard about IceQ Tech? He told me no, that he hasn't. I said, IceQ Tech is one of the best bulk SMS platform you would ever use. Trust me, it's going to give you the cheapest service, the fastest service. And he checked it out. It was fast and it was cheaper. Like, how are these people able to offer this kind of cheap service? Wow. Man, I was offering that service lower than the price I was even purchasing the service for. Do you understand? Wow. It means I was at loss just to make sure I capture the market. Right? That was the risk I took. So he jumped on it. In fact, every semester, I'll be the first person to stand up and ask everybody, I've contributed my own money. All of you should contribute your own. So I was the first person to do it. I was motivating people, but they never knew I was the owner of the platform. So all of us will contribute. We will send the money to the class rep. Then the class rep will now send the money to the accounts that will be provided. Not knowing that I was the one, I would make sure the service was working very well. You understand? Because I'm in the class. Then he will not send the bulk SMS. Everybody will receive it, including me. I'll smile.
Interesting.
But then within a month, 2 months, because of how cheap it was, almost everybody in the school started using it. Different class reps, different faculty presidents. So on my own part, I asked myself, what do I do to recover this money I am losing on the service, since I was giving them a little lower than the normal price? So I started saving the database of all the people who had sent messages on the platform. So once you send message, I would record it. I would record the database, the phone number. So with time, I had almost everybody's phone number in the school. So I became the preferred SMS provider for campaign, people that were running for campaign, SUG campaign. And that was when I started making money. So all the money I made from that service, I put it back on the bulk SMS, Now, that is why I'm telling this story, is that was the first failure I jammed, right?
Yeah.
After like a year or two, when my platform became very, very, very successful, like I had numerous number of people on the platform. I was in class one day And I had made a lot of money, about 3 million. So much money as at then. That was 2014, right? So I had put the whole money back into the platform. I wasn't taking it back because I wanted to grow the company. Now, I was in class one day. I got an SMS from somebody, in Calabar or somewhere, right? One of my clients. He told me that, what's wrong with your platform? I told him nothing is wrong. I was still in class. Another person sent me another message. Your website is not opening. What's going on? What's going on? I tried to open the website. It was loading. It wasn't opening. I thought it was the normal network issue. I told them it was network. It will load. The next person now sent me a message that the website just opened now. It seems you have been hacked. Hacked? Wow. I stepped out of the class. My whole body was shaking. I opened the platform and I saw a notification in front of the platform. Hacked by one Indonesian hacker. I've forgotten his name. He said his name is also, and he even put his picture and he said that he hacked the platform. Imagine. Wow. Someone sweat. I rushed to ICT where I used to get free internet access, opened the platform, contacted the guy. I was asking him to open the website. He told me he can't open it again, that he has hacked it. That he was doing hackathon. And my website was one of the platforms that the hackathon was who is going to hack the most websites among him and his peers. And my website was one of the unfortunate ones that he hacked. Yeah. So that was how I went from success to, I'll use the word failure because of the context of what we are saying, or we are discussing. I would have given up. I would have said I'm no longer doing. But then, while I was standing there and thinking like, 3 million just like that. Like I've lost my database and I've lost every single thing. I told myself, instead of giving up, I'm going to build another platform that will be better than that initial one. And I did it. How did I do it? Same way, how did I do it in the first place? That's the question. Anytime you find yourself questioning how you will move forward from where you failed, ask yourself, how did I start the journey in the first place? Right? Wow. It's good to always look at the goal. Where are you going? You understand? Because failing is not the plan. It was never the plan. The plan when you started the race was to finish the race, not to fail. So if you failed while running that race, it's part of the race. Stand up and keep running. You understand? So yeah. I asked myself, how do I do this? And the answer I gave myself was, how did you start in the first place? Cutting the long story short, I started again, built myself. Now I built it by myself, a platform that was even more better than the initial one. Started building customer base. Now, from there, I joined a network marketing platform where I started making money. It was EBN. So then I made a lot of money on that platform. At some point, when towards the period of MMM and the rest, the platform did not have enough new customers coming in. So it affected their growth. And the company started dwindling, and I had about 24 million in that platform, and it crashed. Would I say it? Yeah, it's closed. You understand? Same question I asked myself. And I was in Lagos. That was the first time I went to Lagos. Got to Lagos. The company was keeping me in a hotel with some of my team members that I brought to Lagos. And all of a sudden, they could not continue footing the bill. I came to Lagos with my car, and, they said I couldn't withdraw my funds. And I didn't have any money anywhere in my bank account. So I was supposed to give up again, or probably, because I can't fuel my car, I can't pay for hotel bill, I can't even go back to Enugu where I came from. And instead of giving up once again, I told myself, the goal is to be successful. The goal is to be a millionaire. So whatever I'm seeing now is temporal. That was when the dream of building my company, current company I'm running now, came to me, and I started building it from scratch, from nothing, until I found myself here. But in the midst of building this company, I remember after like a year or two, made a lot of losses, and that was when I didn't have a place to stay, right? I was staying in a garage, not really my car. I was staying in somebody's garage. The person was really trying to help out. And, I had to stay in a garage for more than a year and some months. Remember, my company had already generated more than $2 million before I had those issues. Remember, I went from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. I'm quoting what's his name? Steve Brown. I forgot this. I think that's his name. Now, I went from losing 2 million naira, I didn't give up, to losing 24 million. If I had given up, I wouldn't have touched up to 24 million. Do you understand?
Yeah.
For the fact, as if you are failing, ask yourself, this is your failure and your last failure. Would you have remained there? Or do you understand? Somebody said it's better to cry in a Lamborghini than to cry on a bicycle.
Yeah,
You understand?
definitely.
If you give up while crying on a Lamborghini, then you will not have the chance of crying on a private jet. Do you understand that point? If you give up crying on a bicycle, you won't know what it feels like crying in a Mercedes Benz. If you give up crying on a Mercedes Benz, you won't enjoy crying on a private jet. If you give up crying on a private jet, you won't own your own empire. So at every point in time in anybody's life, any entrepreneur's life, you must cry. You must meet things that will break your heart, that will make you feel like giving up. The question is that the goal? I tell people, being a success is not really about, there's no destination called success. Success is a journey, and you don't ever finish that journey. It's like the story continues.
Yeah.
If you feel that success is a destination, then maybe your dream at some point, was one day I'll have my own car, I'll live in my own house, no longer in my parents' house, I'll be able to foot my bills. Bro, when you get to that point where you are living in your own house and you have your own car and you're able to foot your bills, if that is the definition of success for you, you will become stagnant at that point. Because at some point, it was your dream. You understand? So success is for you to be able to say, okay, I'm here now. What next? What is the bigger dream I should start dreaming? So you have the car, you have your house. Can you now please own your own house, your own apartment? You understand? An own fleet of cars. When you get to that point, ask yourself, can I please own my own private jet? Do you understand? Keep dreaming bigger. Even when you are 70, don't say I'm not successful. It's still a journey. Can your children continue from where you stopped?
Yeah.
Let the journey continue until you die. Let it be that you're on the path of success. You understand? And you never give up until at that point, when you die, then you can now say you successfully achieved some things, but not giving up at some point. So that was the story. I remember that period. I was in that garage. I would sleep and wake up and I'll ask myself, like, is this really it? And then, it was really depressing for me. But then I kept telling myself, this is not the reason you started. You have a place that you have envisioned. This is not that place. You understand? So while in that garage, I would post pictures of me smiling on social media. Is it social media? Yeah, please.
It's a make-believe world.
Yes. I would post
my
pictures and nobody will know what I was going through.
Yeah.
They would even some people will see those pictures and they'll call me and ask me to lend them 5K. Those people that are asking me to lend them 5K, they are living comfortably in their house, and the only problem they have is 5K.
Wow.
You understand? So, and even though I didn't really have them, I would still find a way to send, because I don't want to make you believe that there's an issue, right? You don't have to pity me. So if I don't have, I'll still tell you, oh, they're available now, but maybe next time. You understand? So I was pumped up within me. And then, because I had that positive outlook, anybody listening to this, whenever you feel down, don't have a negative outlook, right? Because what would pull you up will not pull you up if it jams you with that negative outlook. There are people that have the contracts that will change your life. But when they see that you are down, you are gloomy, nobody will want to extend a helping hand to you.
Yeah.
You understand? People want to associate with success. People want to associate with progressive people, right? People want to associate with people who are moving, who are making a movement, from one point to another. That's what people want to associate with, not people who are retrogressive. You understand? So because I would post motivational stuff, I'll post pictures of me doing well and all those things. I got a couple of contracts, and those contracts were able to even take me out of that garage. But I stayed in that garage. I executed those contracts. I used part of the money I made from those contracts to keep building myself and building my company. Because if 10 million comes to my hand and the biggest problem I have is to leave the garage and go and pay for an apartment worth 3 million, probably buy a car and change clothes, that's not the success I was looking for. You understand? So people that think little, that think small, maybe they will say, God have buttered my bread. No, I put like the whole money, almost the whole money, back into the business I was building, and I stayed back there. Because when you are thinking big, your environment doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Your environment doesn't matter. What matters is the vision you are seeing, because that vision will pull you out of that environment. So as time went on, I was able to, build the company, to an extent, push out a couple of ads. I was from there traveling to Lagos to attend conferences. I would wear suit. People. Then from there I moved, and this is me now. I'm not saying that I've gotten to where I want to be. I'm not saying that I've succeeded, because I said it's a journey. I'm still in that journey. I'm currently in UAE, meeting up with a couple of companies, making the closing deals and partnering with bigger brands. I'm not even quarter where I want to be. I've not even started. I'm still trying to scratch the surface and figure out what God had in stock for me. But this is my story, and my encouragement to people is, don't ever look at where you are as a destination. Do you understand? Don't ever give up. Don't ever think that because of what you are facing, that you have that things are bad. Things are not bad. It's just lesson. See every issue, every failure as is stepping stone to the next level. See it as a training. You understand? If I did not learn how to lose 2.5 million and be calm about it and build again, I won't know how to lose 24 million and be calm about it. I won't know how to lose 20 million, $2 million and be calm about it. It means I've been set up to make 1 billion. I've been set up to make 2 billion. I remember each of those mistakes I made that made me lose those money. I learned from them. I did not make them. I didn't make some of those. So one time I repeated mistake was leaving all my funds in the bulk SMS platform, right? I lost it, and then I repeated it again in the network market. I left all my funds again in the platform, and I lost it all. I won't repeat that kind of mistake. You understand? Does it mean I won't lose money again? I may still lose money, but not because of some of those mistakes. And I will not lose money if the more I learn all these things, the more I'm able to preserve what I have. You understand? And today, I consult for people, I educate people, I mentor people, big business people are working in oil companies and are working in different bigger parastatals, real estate and all that. I consult for them on what we call finance diversification. You understand? People already now have this old school method of diversifying their funds, investing in, opening shop here and there. It has shown, studies have shown that the truth, it doesn't preserve people's money. You just do it for the hand to mouth kind of stuff. If you want to grow wealth, there's a new school method of wealth diversification, putting money in the future. I don't know if you understand. I'll give you an instance. People used to say, okay, once they start making money, they'll probably put 1 or 2 cars in the road, open 1 or 2 shops, or probably buy property here and there in Nigeria. Those things only help to keep your money stagnant, but keep it available. If you really want to grow your wealth, there are different dimensions. There are different ways to grow your wealth. You understand? And still preserve it and still keep living the kind of life that you are living. If you doubt me, check people that have done all those things I mentioned in the past. Some of them, by the time they are retired, they'll realize that they never really preserved any wealth.
True.
Yes. You've heard stories. Yes, you've heard stories of people, that built a lot of real estate, and then their children, when they grew up, said, "Papa, this one not for you." You understand? Because those houses, in 5 years, 10 years, they'll become old school. Their children may end up breaking down the whole house that they spent millions of naira, their entire savings building, to either build another one or they sell it. You understand? So you never really left a legacy. So if you want to leave a legacy, or you want to, diversify your wealth, there are different ways, and that is one of the things I do these days. Thank you so much for having me on this session. Let me not.
It's really a privilege, because, like I said, I was inspired by the story, going from losing $2 million to losing $24 million to losing $2 million. It's on naira, $2 million. Like, it's crazy. So it gets me wondering. Like, I've not lost $2 million. Like, as I'm trying to even imagine how you come back from losing $2 million. But you made an interesting statement that each of those losses built you up for the next one. Losing 2 million built you, 2 million naira built you to be able to withstand losing 24 million naira. And it's not as if, of course, like all those losses have turned around to be win or like you've recorded wins after those losses. But there are processes in between, just like you talked about the period of a year plus that you stayed in the garage or so. Not many people knew that, and you talked about presenting a positive font and positive vibe, and I know that about you. Like, I've never, if there's one thing I used to tell, like, I've never seen you not smiling. So sometimes I wonder, like, is it that you don't have an issue? Is it that you don't have an issue? But then, if I don't know you closely, I'll say, okay, this guy doesn't have a problem. But because I have the privilege of knowing you closely, I'm like, you're it's just part of the processes. Like, it's just part of you being the leader or an industry leader that you are today. And I really want to appreciate you for this time, because I really want people, especially entrepreneurs, like, we've gotten it has gotten so bad in our country today that, we see 21-year-olds having high blood pressure, 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds are having high blood pressure. Like, they are feeling like they've failed of life, like they've given up, like you're hearing suicide and all that. And Nigeria, through no fault of its people, but Nigeria doesn't really encourage entrepreneurship. That is the honest truth. So this is one country that you are definitely going to encounter losses. You're definitely going to encounter things that make you doubt, okay, am I on the right path or not? But I think hearing stories of people, that's why Brand Talk is here, because I don't want to be the one telling them my story. I really want to hear them hearing from other people, like, this is my story, this is how it happened. And, we hear a lot of white people tell us their story, people from America, CEOs and all that. And I feel like, maybe it's because they're in America and all that. We need our people to understand that there are people in Nigeria that has actually gone through these or even worse. And they are coming out on top. They are coming out way better, and that's still doing well. Because the fact is that, just like you said, you've not quote unquote succeeded. You still have your losses. You still have the struggles. Because about some weeks ago, or about a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, the government had their cryptocurrency ban thing, and the central bank
they shut down all my accounts.
So that's another phase. That's another phase.
It's another phase.
In UAE will be wondering, the guy is balling and all that. He doesn't have an issue. That's the thing. He doesn't have an issue.
That's the thing. The truth is that every entrepreneur you see have a hidden battle they are fighting. They don't bring it to the public, because if you have accepted the challenge of being an entrepreneur, you have accepted a noble fight, a noble cause, to be to be happy or smiling, even when there is, I don't know, you are facing a heat. You understand? Because if you don't keep that positive outlook, that's when you start failing. You just have to. So, and I believe the people that will listen to this or watch this are potential super entrepreneurs, existing entrepreneurs, upcoming entrepreneurs, right? It's very necessary. No matter what, just keep moving. I remember when it was a day before when we were supposed to launch Boundlesspay. Boundlesspay is one of our applications that was supposed to act like a bank, a new bank crypto platform for people to buy and sell cryptocurrency. And we partnered with a bank in Nigeria to offer that service. And we were supposed to flag off the Boundlesspay application on Saturday. I had spent so much money building that application. We were supposed to flag it off on Saturday. On Friday, we got the news that central bank has banned cryptocurrency. And that was one of the major reasons why I traveled to UAE so that we can launch it. So all the money I spent bringing people all the way to this place, everything, just like that.
It's
everything,
crazy.
just like that. You understand? So, if I didn't learn how to move forward, when I lost 2 million, then it would be difficult for me. I won't even get to this point where it's a national issue. Remember then, nobody really knew me. It was just me and my few customers. Today, that I didn't launch it that day, everybody in the Nigerian crypto space that were anticipating that launch felt the heat, understood, knew that there was something that was supposed to be launched that wasn't launched. I'm proud of that. You understand? I'm super proud of the fact that, there's a national community that feels the impact of a loss. I don't know if you understand. If now let me just round off with this. 5 days ago, there was a news that Elon Musk lost $15 billion.
Yes.
And he stepped down from number one richest person to number two. If he didn't learn how to move on when he lost as little as $10,000 before, nobody will know him, not to talk of saying that he lost $15 billion. It's a thing to be happy about, that the world knows that he lost 15. There are some of us who lose money, nobody in the world knows. It takes a level of success for people to know that when you lose one couple, people will know that you lost one couple. I want to get to that point. See, the topic today is failure, right? So that's why I'm emphasizing loss, because to a lot of people, what they understand as failure is also the easiest way to explain failure is that you lost something, you understand?
Yeah.
So I want to get to that point where I lose $15 billion. It means that I'm worth much more.
Way over.
If I lost $2 million, then I was already seeing myself as a billionaire. So for me to lose that and I didn't die, it means that there's an unseen billions of dollars. They are coming. One day I'll lose $10 billion and the world will know.
True. Amen to that. We'll all be here. We'll definitely all be here. Thank you very much. It's been interesting having you here, and thank you for making this very easy. I think there's no other story that helps people more understand than personal stories when they can relate. So at least today, someone in my audience knows a certain Franklin Peters that lost 2 million naira, lost 24 million naira, lost $2 million, and is planning on losing $15 billion. So,
yes, I love that progression.
Someone knows that, and we all want to learn from that, and even I have learned a lot from that. So thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we'll have you back again on the platform. Till then.